Sup nerds, I'm Wes, and I want to show you guys the official insert for Cerebria Origin Box from Laserox Inserts. Alright, well, I'm getting this lid off. It is important to know that I do have the Kickstarter Origin Box with all the fun Kickstarter stuff in here. If you have the retail version of the game, the website does say that this insert will fit in that box. There's just going to be a little bit of lid lift, so it's not going to sit flush. But I can't prove that because I don't have that version of the game, so just take my word for it. So you've got your rule books right on top. I feel like with a lot of book games, like books, there's always this like clutterness on top of the insert. So you've got like your individual player guides, you've got the balance boards sitting on top, as well as the Gloom and Bliss boards, and then the little wheel spins in the middle of the table. And now is where the insert really just gets, it's just quality. So right on top, you've got your two balance boards, and then you've got your Bliss and your Gloom. And this is a real theme to this insert, is Bliss on one side, Gloom on the other. Opposing forces constantly coming in at each other from either side. So once we get these off, we should really have them this way, and you'll find out in a minute. We've got our main board that just sits perfectly flush here, doesn't really move around at all, pops right off, and now you can really see where I was talking about with the conflicting size. So everything on this side of the insert is Bliss, and everything on this side of the insert is Gloom. And you kind of have your balance here coming in the middle, which like is super cool that even the insert is thematic about the two sides really coming together and clashing against each other. So as we dive into this insert, you've got these little purple gems on either side for both players to have. These super cool clear lids just to help aesthetically with the game. They snap on really flush. This stuff, whenever you do it on camera, it always takes a minute longer than it would in real life. But yeah, once it's on there, like, it's not going anywhere. But again, it's not bad at all. Pop it right off. So you've got one for each side of the board, which is really nice when you're setting up. Which makes everything go a lot quicker. Over here on the Gloom side, as I tease this out, mostly just because of the, like, artwork on the outside of the box kind of overhangs. So you've got all of your player minis here for Gloom. Tom played this side last, and so he didn't. I built the insert, and he just doesn't know the best way to put them back in. But you can see these little minis just like snap into the player board. Like, just super cool. They've got these little tokens that, like, it's easy to get them out, but it definitely holds them in place well enough that if you do have the nice painted minis, or if you paint your own minis, then it holds them in place and really protects that paint job while they're in the box. You also have your little plastic tokens over here. I never remember what things are called, but even like these columns match the design on these little hexagons here. And then in the back, you've got the Gloom insert, which holds all of your private aspiration cards. That is a tight fit with sleeved cards. I don't know if it's because I use Fantasy Flight sleeves and maybe they designed this with like Mayday sleeves in mind or something, but all the sleeves are a tight fit, but they do fit into the insert overall. And then you've got all of your tokens. Again, man, whoever put this insert back together did it backwards, because this is Bliss and this is Gloom. So just imagine everything's mirrored. But it does fit the right way, I promise. So this lid pops off, and you've got all your Bliss tokens, and that pops off there to reveal all of your other Bliss tokens, which, again, quick start, everything's already laid out for you and ready to go. It's the same thing on the Gloom side. Lid pops off, all your tokens are there, ready to go. And you could even notice that when you put these two bases together, you get the balance logo. So when Bliss and Gloom come together, you have balance. How cool is that? This little spire does fit right onto that symbol. So this is the the thing that holds the part of the board that spins, and then all of your tower tops. Here, you've got just kind of general tokens for the game. All of your balance tokens, as well as your marker tokens to mark who controls which area of the board. And your super fancy Kickstarter exclusive metal coin that really doesn't have a purpose in the game, but it's cool. So, like, why not? Your balance characters also have one of these really nice little trays that hold and kind of display the minis, as well as hold all of your pieces here and your private aspirations in the back. And now we can get to the Bliss side. Again, I'm not going to go super in depth because it's the exact same. It just holds all of these beautiful minis over here. In the middle of the board, you've got card holders as well as all of your public aspirations. And this is where these pieces right here are where my biggest complaints come in, because all of your public aspirations, I think that's what they're called, don't fit with the sleeves that I use. And again, they may not have been thinking of these Fantasy Flight sleeves, but like, it's just, it gets too tight to really, like, that's as far in as I can really get it. And if I cram it in any farther, it's going to be a pain in the butt to get out. So it holds the sleeves. I can just slip them down into this spot down below, and it holds everything just fine. But I really like, they had room to make this a little deeper to give you a little bit like better tolerance in the cards. And I wish they'd taken it. It does have this little lid that locks into place here that'll keep all those cards from sliding out. Here you've got another one of these little lids that comes up to hold all of your balance cards. Balance got a little bit less treatment than Bliss and Gloom because it is the expansion. Not everybody's going to have it, and you're probably going to play with it less. And then here you do have a thing that holds all the cards. Again, this is acrylic on top that you can see all the decks of cards. Even though you don't really use these boxes during the game to hold your cards, it is nice to see exactly what is where. And these cards, again, even with sleeves, I think these are the Ultra Pro Tarot sleeves, do fit on there nicely. And then you've got all of your beads under an acrylic lid right there. I'm going to go ahead and flip-flop these because it's the way it's supposed to be. These, again, I had to do so much sanding to get these to slip in right here. And they're still like the littlest bit tight to fit in, but they fit. Before I spent a good 30 minutes sanding them, they like wouldn't even get into the box. Now, once they fit nice and snug, it creates like a perfectly level, this whole thing is level for you just to continue stacking on the rest of the pieces. And I think it's just the tolerances they used, that everything is just super tight. So I'm hoping that in their future iterations of this insert, they kind of keep that in mind and just make everything a little bit looser. They also, like, look at these cool bendy pieces. The way they make that curve, like, blows my mind every time I see it. I've seen a couple different companies use that technique to get bendy pieces of this plywood, but every time I see it, it just, like, fascinates me. So you can see these slip right into there. Get that on top. And just this insert, I see why Mineclass chose Laserox to make the custom insert, like the official custom insert for this game, because it's just good. If I can put it in the right order. It's just good. Like, everything about it, like, I don't know if you can see these little cutouts to hold that in really tight. Like, it kind of pushes the sides out to really get a good tension lock on that lid. So it's not coming out. You could store this game box upside down and everything would stay exactly where it's supposed to be. I wouldn't recommend it because, like, you know, it could break. You know, I haven't sorted upside down, so maybe I shouldn't be making that claim, but I feel like it could. Again, even like the game board just slides right in. And once I did that little bit of fine tuning to get all those pieces to fit in nice and flush and figure out where some of those cards that wouldn't fit in their designated spot would go, I am so happy with this insert. And at the end of the day, I don't mind taking a little bit of extra time to make the insert like exactly what I want. I don't mind putting in the work to get a quality product, because that's what this is now. It's a beautiful insert that like makes the box sturdy. I'm not worried about the box getting crushed if something else sits on top of it, because now like every aspect of the box is just solid. So if you are looking to pick up a copy of this behemoth of an insert, I'm going to have a purchase link in the description box down below where you can go over to Laserox's website and check it out. While you're down there, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you'll never be bored.